Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a Pickacard reading, finding out a confirmation for you that something has officially ended or changed in some way. It doesn't have to be ended, just changed. So we have 3 piles here. They're little guitar picks, so you can pick pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. Or multiple if you're drawn to multiple. So go ahead and choose your pile, and then we'll start right away. I'm going to start with this deck. So for pile 1, what can I confirm for you has changed? Let's see. Pile 1. Somebody's perception of you, your reputation, but specifically with a certain person. So it doesn't have to be your reputation in general, but there's a specific person who saw you one way or held a certain idea or perspective of you, and that has changed. This is someone that to you, it's going to be someone who has some type of authority in your life, and that can look like a lot of different things. That could be a boss, that could be an older family member that for some reason has like not control over you, but maybe there's some type of power they have, or maybe they're giving to you in some way. There's something where you feel like this person has more authority or power in some way than you, and so that's why it matters what they think or their perception of you. But it feels like this has changed. Now, if you don't relate to that, then let me see if there's another possible message. Yeah, this definitely feels like it's related to somebody else and their idea of you. So if you can't think of anything that would, or anyone that would resonate with, this might not be your pile, or you can keep watching to find out. So it feels like you gave up trying to convince this person of something or show them who you were, trying to get them to see something a certain way, because maybe this person's very stubborn, or they're very stuck in their ways, or it takes a lot for them to change their mind and see something from a new point of view. So, or you just realized you just didn't have the power to change what they thought, or maybe you realized it wasn't your job to change that. Whatever the case is, you kind of pulled your energy away and realized there's not really much for you to do except focus on yourself. So this could be, like I said at first, relating to work. Doesn't have to be, but maybe this person, like, they had an issue with your ability to work or your ability to perform in some way. Like maybe they didn't think you were capable of something, or they just underestimated your capacity to handle certain things or to make certain things work out. So maybe you wanted this person to trust you because you knew you could handle something, or you knew you could take something on, but because of this perception this person had of you, it was like they weren't going to give you this opportunity because they didn't think you could do it or that you had what it takes. So this is really specific, so you'll definitely know if this is for you or not, but this person's old view of you has changed. Something has enlightened them to, and in a way which they probably would never admit to, it's kind of humbled them, because they kind of thought they knew everything, or they had this feeling where like, oh, I can see through people. I know what people are hiding, or like maybe they claimed to be good at this, or they felt like they were, but they really misjudged you, or they really messed up when it came to you. Maybe they are good at that, but when it came to you, they weren't. And so realizing the truth about you and that they were wrong, it kind of humbled them and made them, but at the same time, like, this doesn't feel like a bad person, like they're not a bad person, but like a bad influence on your life. It's just someone who maybe they're really stuck in their ways, or maybe they're older, so you know they've done something one way their whole life and they're really set in that. but it's just like this person's still open-minded and open-hearted enough to accept this new information about you being revealed to them. So let's see what else, if we can get more specific. This person is now this person wants to give you this opportunity now, and they understand why you thought you could do it. Because maybe they thought you were ignorant, maybe they were even judging you for thinking you could do it, and being like, oh, they don't know what it takes, they don't understand, they think they could do this, but they couldn't. And this person, they're willing to take a risk on you. It doesn't feel like a risk. They're willing to, like, now that they've had this revelation, they're like, actually, you'd be perfect for this, or you'd be, like, they want to work with you now. They want to invest in you. They want to give you the chance. They want to choose you, however it applies. They're now realizing you're perfect for the role, and they're going to make that happen, or they're going to at least offer it to you, or try and see if you're still interested, or if you still want to do it. And I feel like you will be, but you know, you don't have to be like, oh yes, I've been waiting for this. Like, have your own enough self-respect for your, sorry, this is coming out confusing. Have enough self-respect that you're not going to immediately, because I mean, this person did misjudge you, and so it's okay if they apologize. It's okay. Like, you don't have to be like, you know, at their feet, like, oh, please give me this opportunity. Maybe you were like that in the past, but they overlooked you. And so it's like, just keep your own composure, and know that even though you feel like this person has not something over you, but like some type of power over you or authority, they can still make mistakes, and they can still be indebted to you, or asking for your forgiveness, humbled by you. So let's see. Anything else for pile number 1 about this situation? So there could be challenges that you weren't expecting. This doesn't mean that you wouldn't be good for the job, but this person will help you with those things. So even if you were both a little, not wrong, but like they didn't think you could do it, now they realize you can. And maybe you thought it was going to be one way, but then you start and you realize there's things that maybe you couldn't have planned or predicted, but this person wants to help you through those. So there's something about, don't feel bad if there are parts that are confusing or that you struggle with. This person isn't going to be like, oh, I knew it. I knew they wouldn't be good for this. Like, that's, so if you have that fear, like, but what if I'm not perfect at it? What if I do make a mistake? Like, don't have that fear, because this person already sees you differently. So even if they're not expecting you to be a perfect robot either. That's not why they think you would be good for this, or why they want to choose you. There's something more about, like, it's something deeper you have to offer, like the essence of who you are. That's what they want, and that's what they want you to bring to whatever this is. So if there are challenges along the way, don't worry. They're there to help you. They want to help you. You both have the same goal in mind. You both want a similar outcome. And I think now you're realizing that about each other. So that's all I'm getting for you, pile 1. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. So let me just shuffle these a bit, and we'll get into pile 2. So for those who chose pile 2, this is going to be your reading. What can I confirm for you has changed? What can I confirm for you has changed? Okay, this one coming out first. This is about your own beliefs about yourself. The first pile was someone else's idea of you, but this pile, this is about your own. It's kind of related to what you thought you were capable of. So a little bit similar to pile 1, except in pile 1, there was someone else who like underestimated you. But in this one, I feel like it's you who has underestimated yourself in some way, or just thought, oh, I couldn't do that, oh, that would be too much for me. That, like, that part of you that had those doubts and just didn't believe in your full potential or power, or how easily it could actually come to you. Like, maybe, oh, I could do it, but it's going to take so much work and it's going to be such a challenge. But it feels like this is what's changing. Like, your own belief in your ability. So it's not that you think things will be easy necessarily, but you're realizing that things can be easier than they have been, and you can be more in alignment, and you're getting to see now how that feels to be in alignment if maybe you weren't used to it in the past. But let's see. For pile 2. Let's see. So there was a part of you that was at war with yourself, this self-sabotaging type of energy where part of you, or like half of you, was so fired up and eager to start on your life and live out your potential. But another part of you was just like, no, that won't work because of this. And then you have to think of this. And it's like every time the more hopeful part of you would be like, oh, we could do this, or what about this? This other half of you would come in and just shut it down, like shut everything down. No, this is why that won't work. You can't do that. You didn't think of this. And it's like, you always had that hopeful part of you, but it was at war with the part of you that thinks it has to be realistic. So I'm seeing something very specific. I'm seeing a group of kids. Let's say it's a group of cousins, and there's one who's older, so they've been put in charge, but they're still a kid themselves, obviously. Let's say it's a bunch of like 6, 7-year-olds, and then the one in charge is like 10. So they're still young, they're still a child, and this child, because they're in charge, they're trying to pretend to be the adult, like, no, we can't do this, and you know, it's like that energy within you was like a little kid pretending like, well, actually we can't do this. Like, it wasn't a true voice of authority. It was like trying to say what it thought an authority would say, or like trying to say like, oh, I'm supposed to say this, I'm supposed to remind you of this, but it's not. It was like playing pretend, if you're relating to what I'm saying. Like that part of you, it wasn't even good logical points. It's just like, no, I'm the boss and I said no, and you can't do that, and that's not what we do, or something like that. Okay. So you're no longer at war with yourself. Those two parts of you have teamed up. They're not fighting each other. They found some common ground and found a way to work together and help each other rather than hold each other back. And this is huge for you, because this was truly what was blocking your blessings, because it's like that one part of you, the hopeful part, let's say energetically or spiritually, they placed a bunch of Amazon orders, and then before they got to arrive, the other half of you was like, cancel, 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 cancel. So you never got to receive them. So every time that part of you would like try to move your life forward and try and expand, that other part of you would block it every time. So no matter how much energy you were giving towards chasing your goals or towards receiving your abundance, that other half of you was constantly blocking it at every move. So now that that's not happening, it's like everything is flowing better to you, but it had to all start with your own mindset. You had to not be your own worst enemy anymore. So let's see. What does this mean for you? What else? For pile 2. Okay, this also came out in pile 1. A new beginning, a new phase of life for you, where, and this is going to be something that feels unfamiliar, because there's not going to be all this tension and all this fighting and like, oh, this thing did work out, but then there's this thing. It's like every good thing had to have something bad to counter it. Like, oh, I found a close-up parking spot, and then, oh, when I was leaving, someone yelled at me for where I put my cart, or something like that. Like, it's every time it was like, if anything good did happen, something bad had to balance it out. But it's not going to be like that anymore. And so as good things start to happen, you may feel some fear and like waiting, okay, now what's going to go wrong? Because this did go right, so now what's going to go wrong to even it out? But that's changed. That energy has changed. So be open to, although it's unfamiliar and maybe even scary, be open to things being different in a better way. And don't automatically assume, oh, that means something bad's going to happen. Just keep an open mind. You don't have to decide, oh, that's definitely a good sign. Just stay open and let this new phase and this new part of life reveal itself to you without you trying to figure it all out and label it. So Let me get one more card for you. Anything else? Oops. For pile 2. This is also going to be attracting, okay, so maybe people were mirroring this hot and cold energy back to you. So maybe someone would do something really nice for you, but then they would go and start a fight with you. And it doesn't mean like it happened in the same day. It just seemed like everything had to have its negative counterpart. It couldn't just be good. Even the way people treated you, even your relationships with your loved ones, with your close friends. So that's all, that way of people treating you like that, that's ending too, because they were only mirroring that inner war with yourself, within yourself. So now that that's over, you're going to notice people are not, you're going to get more consistency. That's what it is. It's not going to be this back and forth. Oh, how am I going to get them today? In a good mood, in a bad mood? Are they going to be helpful? Are they going to be hurtful? Like, you can just know what to expect more, and there's a lot more consistency, which is going to make you feel more confident and secure even about the things that are still unknown. So that's all I'm getting for you, pile 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. All right. Pile 3, let me shuffle a bit. Okay, those who chose pile 3, this is going to be your reading. What can I confirm for you has changed? What has I felt called to say recently changed. So even though that was, that was intended for all piles, specifically in this pile, you're going to really relate to it recently ending. So maybe that could even be today, like whenever you're watching this, that recently. Okay, well, first of all, this is confirming that your inner child is very proud of you right now. Your past self, whatever struggles they went through or hard times, they're getting relief by getting to live through you and like see life through your eyes. And like they're watching from kind of a third point of view, where it's like if they were watching a movie about you, which is them, but it's like that perspective rather than being you, but at the same time they can be you, if that makes sense. They're like both you and separate, but it's like the best movie. Like imagine watching a movie and you just are like, oh, I wish that was me, but it actually is you. So that's this feeling that your inner child is having. Like they're so proud of your life, of not just where you are, but where they know you're headed. And it's a very exciting feeling. Like, and it could relate to when I'm filming this, it's right around the holidays. So this could relate to you're just feeling like you've been receiving or you're about to receive. And even if it's small things, even if it's just like you really wanted to get a certain food, you started craving this certain food, and then you look it up and there's a sale on that, or you know, just little tiny things here and there, but you're really taking them in, appreciating them, and knowing that it's something deeper. Like it's more than just a happy coincidence. It's like a sign of something larger, a sign that you are in alignment with exactly where you want to be. So let's see. But yeah, even if you're consciously maybe not yet in that space, that is how your inner child and your higher self feels, and that's how you're about to feel if you don't already. But let's see what has changed for you. What can I confirm? Okay, 4 of Wands. Let's see. I'm hearing where you find safety. So maybe you used to find safety in a certain place, even like a comfort show, a comfort food, a comfort person, something like that, but you no longer do. That's one message, not the whole message. But it's something about your, like where they say home is where the heart is. There's something about your home, your safe place changing, or your safe person changing. Let's see. there's something about not needing, and it wasn't that it was bad that this thing was your safe place or your safe thing, but there was some type of dependency where you thought you needed it, so you've let go of needing something. And it doesn't mean you don't value it anymore, but you don't think you wouldn't survive without it. So a really specific thing for some of you, or for maybe just one person, this could be like a relative that maybe they're gonna pass soon, and in some way you made peace with it, or you just accepted it, or accepted that if and when that happens, you're gonna be okay and you're gonna still be able to go on. So it's not necessarily that, of course it's not something you want, but it's something that you've made peace with. It's something that before you're like, no, this can't happen, I can't do this, or it's like there's in some way you've made peace with a situation and you're no longer dependent on it in an unhealthy way. Let's see. And there's something about this dependency on whatever it was holding you back. It's like you felt overdue in a sense for whatever. It's different for everyone, but it's like in your life you just felt overdue, like this should have happened by now, I should be here by now, this should have happened, this should have been done, like, and it's because, and this isn't to worry you that, you've messed up the timing and now you're behind, because you're not. Everything will always work out in the best way it can. So you can't mess it up is what I'm saying. But it is true that in a way this dependency was holding you back. It was like you thought, well, I can't move forward without this, or I can't, there was a part, it was like you were tied to it. And so even if you tried to move forward, you could only go as long as the rope allows you to, that you were tied to. Let's see what else, because I feel like that's not the entirety of the message. Yeah, there's something that you were really wishing for or hoping for, like kind of needing to happen, and you've let that go, but you actually feel better now after letting it go. You thought you were going to feel worse, you thought you couldn't do it, but then you did, and now you're released. And like I said, it doesn't mean you're completely separated from the thing or the person. It just means there's no unhealthy attachment to it anymore. This is confirmation. Okay, you've been feeling this energy of like, you're so ready, like you're ready for what's next, you're ready for change, you're ready. You've been doing a lot of work to detach and to, like, you wanted change, and you were doing all the necessary things to bring in change. It was like this was just that last step of needing to detach, and you've been feeling things are about to happen, and very quickly, like this big shift that's gonna take place, and like a lot of things are changing. It's not just one thing, it's like everything shifting and changing, and you've been feeling that, and you didn't know all the details, but you knew you felt that energy. And it's like it's here now, and this is when it gets good, I just heard. So I don't know what it is, but this is when it gets good, or this is the good part. I'm also thinking if it was like a movie that starts kind of slow, kind of like Interstellar, if you've seen that, like the beginning, the first hour even is kind of slow, but then the action begins. So it's like a movie where it starts out long like that, but this is the part where everything gets intense, but in a good way, in a way you've been asking for, hoping for, and working for. So let me get just one, please. Let me get one last card to close this up. For pile 3, what can I confirm? So whatever you detach from, you're going to be getting way more than whatever you thought you needed or were getting from that attachment. Now that you've detached, be prepared for all of it to be replaced with something much greater, much deeper, that could only be accepted by you once you detached from this thing you were dependent on. So that's all I'm getting for you, pile 3. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.